what I'm going to try to do is explain as best as I can how I've been disciplining my nafs. And I'm already like past, alhamdulillah, the like level 1 self-improvement type of stuff. Like, okay, yeah, we quit the bad habits. We are able to do the deep work, but now there's like a higher level to disciplining the nafs. That's what we're going to be tackling, not like the surface level stuff. So I feel like if you want to be the kind of guy, the kind of Muslim like where Shaytaan is just like looking into your eyes and like he's like he feels fear literally looking into your eyes, bro. That requires you to master your nafs. The man you are now, and then the man that like you know that Allah wants you to be, the bridge to get from here to here is disciplining the nafs. And it's a process that I'm still learning, bro. I'm still not the best at it. It's a process, but I believe like I've got to a certain level where it's like, okay, I've made a lot of progress in this area, where I have like some credibility to talk about this. And like I've done a lot of research, bro. I've done a lot of research from the Islamic perspective, and like took it from a lot of the ulama's perspective, like the formulas, the advice and everything. So it's like I've actually applied it as well. And so it's something I'm still learning, and it is hard. It is really hard because it comes down to sacrifice. It comes down to like this like actual war within ourselves, bro. So then it's like, okay, like how can I discipline my nafs, bro? Obviously we already know it's not an easy process. We know that, okay, if you can discipline yourself in one area, that will spill into other areas. The thing is, even though it's a constant battle, which kind of like, it's almost hearing it feels like, oh, it's a constant battle, like oh, it's gonna be hard all the time. That's not how it is. It's always hardest in the beginning. There's a productivity rule that's like the concept is named build and then maintain. So you build in one area, you make like obsess over this one thing, you make so much progress in this area, and then khalas, it's easier to maintain that area now, so you can put in less effort and still get the same results here. So what you do is you start in a new area, you build in a new area, and you just repeat the process. You build, obsess, make progress. Now it takes a lot less effort. So it's kind of like, for example, when you build muscle, okay, calisthenics, working out, whatever the heck you're into, bro. When you build muscle, it takes a lot more effort to like build, let's say the biceps. It takes a lot more effort to actually build muscle in that area, right? And then once you eventually get to like the weights and like once you get to the what the heck, why am I like stuttering so much? And then once you get like to a certain amount of weights, you're like, or like a certain size, you know, now you can actually work out less and still maintain the size, which is so sick. So we can apply that to disciplining the nafs. Right now, this is like the one area we want to build in. Okay, maybe you already built a little bit, you're a little bit disciplined, but you want to be even more disciplined. So like what we have to do is obsess over this one area, make it so easy for ourselves to be able to put in like less effort while still maintaining the progress, which is having a disciplined nafs, and then building in another area of life, inshallah. And then also like the skill you learn here will just transfer into everything. And I know it seems kind of broad, so we're going to get a little bit specific. The first thing is your nafs knows when you're joking. And shaitan too. They can smell. They can literally smell when you're joking. They can smell bro, if humans, okay, if when you're talking to another person and you're saying something but you're lying, they can sense it. It's a subconscious thing. So like, like your brain, subhanAllah, the brains are smart, bro. There's this instinct. It's just like cool how it works. So like if you're lying to yourself, deep down you know you're going to be lying to yourself. Shaitan knows you're lying to yourself. Your nafs, he knows you're joking. He knows you're joking about staying consistent in the gym. He knows you don't really mean it. He knows like you're not really serious about quitting those late night sugar cravings, that, you know. He knows you missed Fajr and you really don't want to miss it. And you can't sacrifice it if you're not serious enough. Your nafs and shaitan know. They can literally smell a lie before you even say it. That's the problem. The one major thing that I've like learned from like, okay, how do I take myself seriously then? Like, okay, I want to change, but I don't feel the urgency to. For like a quick little story, sorry for like the plane in the back, helicopter or a plane, bro. Every 5 minutes, there's like an airport next to my house, so they're just always flying. So apologies in advance. I really wanted to have the discipline to remove this belly fat. I don't have the belly fat now, but I'm saying, like before, like probably 2 months ago, 3 months ago, like actually, I'm not even gonna lie. I don't even know if I should say this, but screw it. It's around December 2022, and I'm already consistent with calisthenics. Went to work out, finished. Now I'm walking back home. On the way, as I'm walking, I'm like, bro, Ali, like, why haven't you done abs? I'm like, you know what? You're actually right. Why haven't I done abs? I don't know. Kept going. Casually carried on as if I didn't even care about it. Deep down, I knew like I actually wanted to, you know, because I was slacking in this area. I didn't have the discipline in this area. Years later, up until the past few months, every single workout I'd get the thought that I'm slacking on abs. I need to have the discipline to do abs, because I hated it so much. Because it was like, felt like somebody was stabbing me in the abs or like in the stomach every single time I'd like do sit-ups or crunches or whatever. So I hated it. I always avoided it. Up until the last few months, I just woke up. I looked at myself in the mirror and I'm like, oh, no way. There's no way. I like rub my eyes, double check. I'm like, there's no way I'm seeing what I'm actually seeing. Bro, I started seeing a belly. I was like, nah, I'm not having it. No, there's something wrong. No, there's no way. I like slap my belly. I'd feel a belly jiggle, bro. It feels so disgusting. And then like I'd pinch my lower belly fat to like give a mental rough estimate based off the last time I like pinched my lower belly fat to see if I actually gained. And I was like, nah. And you'd probably think that was enough of a reason to get me to start doing abs. No, not at all. Not one bit. Now it's on my mind a little bit more, but there was no urgency still to even take action towards this thing. Probably that same day, around that time or whatever, went to work out. In between sets, as I'm resting, I'm like, okay, I actually have to do abs, bro. Like, this belly is actually disgusting. There's no way I've got this, like, it's absolutely shameful for me. I'm literally 23, bro. I'm starting to see this belly. I'm not even married. I don't even got a wife to cook for me a Gordon Ramsay type of meal to even like binge and like overeat and whatever. I'm like, why do I actually want to lose this belly fat? And I'm like, okay, first idea, 2 seconds of thinking, I was like, to look good. And I was like, to look good? Come on. I know you're lying, bro. It ain't to look good, man. That's such a dunya level reason, right? So I'm like, why do I actually like really want to lose this belly fat? I'm like, I don't know, man. Went home, came across this thing that said 25 reasons why you like to find your why. So let me rewind a little bit. To find your why, you want to make a list of 25 reasons why you want to do blank. So I was like, it's gonna work for me, bro. It's gonna take some focus, man. I don't feel like it. I need to put in the discipline to sit down and focus. So I'm like, you know what? I convinced myself. I was like, you know what? If I force myself to make a list of 25 reasons, at least one reason is gonna motivate me to actually do something about this. Reason number 1, to look good. Femna. Reason number 2, dad bod is disgusting. Okay, not bad. Reason number 3, I feel and look ugly. Okay. Reason number 10, I feel like if people were to look at me in public, and even my own family, like if they see I have this belly fat, they'll cringe at me instead of respect me. Okay, we're getting somewhere. Reason number 17, I feel exposed on a deep level. When I personally look at a fat person, the way I interpret it is like, okay, maybe it's not fully his fault, but it is at the same time. He shamelessly promotes the fact that his nafs is in control of him. His fat that he's carrying around him is a evidence that in private his nafs controls him. I'm right now, this like mini belly that I've got shows that I'm on the trajectory. I almost like stuttered so much. I'm on the trajectory that he's on. Like, people will see me as the person whose nafs is in control of them, especially in private. And I felt like so extremely shameful from that. Do you sense the difference between like the first reason and like the 17th reason? Finding that reason became like my hot coals. And your hot coals, I got this from like Andrew Tate. Just the example, okay? Just the example, I liked it. Your hot coals is basically when you're experiencing something so painful that it just forces you to move away from that thing. So finding that reason, like feeling exposed on a deep level, seeing a fat person, nafs is in control, that was my hot coals reason. And then I didn't really feel anything when I came up with that reason, but subconsciously it got stored. So throughout the day, I just like automatically, my brain would remind me of my reason. Or like when, let's say I'm reaching for like a chocolate Snickers bar or whatever that my mom got from the store. I'm about to like literally like get into this autopilot. I'm opening it and just like shoving it in my mouth. But then I like stop myself for a second and be like, is this gonna help me lose my belly fat? Or am I gonna gain belly fat? Oh, okay, yeah, I'm gonna gain belly fat. Let me just put that away. Like if it's bad for me. Or like every time I literally walk by the mirror, I just see myself and I cringe at myself. I'm like, I gotta really, oh my God, the stuttering today. I'm like, astaghfirullah. Every time I pass by the mirror, I'm like, astaghfirullah, no, I gotta get rid of this belly fat, bro. It's bad. I look disgusting. So like, these were signs that I was subconsciously being more obsessed over this area and taking action towards the thing. And since then, I've been consistent with doing abs. Since then, I've been prioritizing losing this belly fat. So, you need to find your hot coals reason to why you want to discipline your nafs. That's what I'm trying to get to. What's your hot coals reason of why you want to level up for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Why do you want to be in control of your nafs? What's the negative things that you're scared of happening? Are you scared to lose yourself in the dunya and like sacrifice your akhirah? Are you scared that Shaytaan is gonna control you like a puppet? You have to find your hot coals reason, because until then, you won't prioritize this area. And until then, your nafs will take you as a joke. Your nafs knows when you're not serious. Shaytaan knows when you're not serious. That's the whole point. The next thing when it comes to disciplining the nafs is a extremely important concept that I've learned and I'm taking with me to every single area of life. It's this phrase that I've come up with called, do not buy into your emotions and justify with logic. I say this at the end of every single one of my videos because there's a story behind it, but to explain what it means, to explain how I came up with this and like what it actually means, yeah, and how it ties into disciplining the nafs. The whole point of disciplining the nafs, I think I should have mentioned this in the beginning, but disciplining the nafs, like what is the actual objective? Okay, the purpose of the nafs, it's in the Quran and everything. I don't remember the exact ayah, but its purpose is instant gratification. So its purpose like is to literally, it doesn't care about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala if it's happy with it or not. You know, I'm talking about the nafs al-ammara obviously. So it's like its main purpose is instant gratification. If it can get you to do that, it's basically its purpose, mission accomplished. Yeah. So when we discipline the nafs, that just means having the discipline to say no when an urge arises in your nafs. Like when your nafs tempts you to do something, you just have to have the discipline to say no. That's what we're talking about here. So when it comes to not buying into your emotions and justifying it with logic, because like in business and entrepreneurship, like one of the first few things I learned when it comes to sales is people buy based off their impulses, their emotions. Oh yeah, that's really nice. Oh yeah, we gotta buy. Oh, it's all based off feelings, no logic at all. So when they buy something to make themselves feel better, especially if it's like an expensive purchase, they justify it with logic. They start coming up with reasons to why they bought this thing, and then they start justifying it and like, oh yeah, okay. They come up with excuses. Let's tie this real quick to disciplining the nafs. When you make an expensive purchase, let's call it a purchase, you buy into your emotions, the emotion of wanting the instant gratification thing. It might have a lot of negative consequences that cost you in the short term and in the long term. And so to make yourself feel better, you start justifying it with logic, right? Isn't that such a huge problem you have in the first place? Like we tend to make so many like excuses. Maybe if you're trying to stay away from food, you're like, and you've got kids. Like it's happened to my client as well. What a guy, bro. He'll have a bunch of junk food laying around, and so instead of, he knows like it's got all these like bad chemicals, so he's like, no, I gotta take one for the team. I don't want this stuff to like, I don't want this chemicals to be in my kids' bodies and ruin their hormones and everything. I gotta take one for the team, and then he'll eat it. or like if there's a bunch of junk food left out, and he's like, no, this is ni'mah, bro. If we don't finish this now, you know, astaghfirullah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is gonna hold us accountable if we throw this away. So we gotta eat it. So now he's eating junk food. He bought into the emotion of actually wanting the junk food. And so his brain justified the fact that it's okay, like basically to eat it. You know, it's like, you know, this creative, slick excuse. So it's your nafs wanting it, and then your brain and shaitan helping you justify what your nafs actually craves. This is so insane, bro. So insane. So tie this into like anything that you're struggling to be disciplined with. It always, actually 99% of the time, always comes down to buying into your emotions and then justifying it with logic. Always. Whether you're trying to stay away from something or you're trying to do something. So like this whole time we've kind of been talking about avoiding the bad stuff, but like having the disciplining your nafs to do the thing that it doesn't want to do. So for example, it could be like calling up an aunt or an uncle or your cousins, or like even just texting them and doing silat rahim, even though the family isn't that close to you. That's the challenge. That happened to me very recently, bro. So it's like, I've been avoiding that for years, silat rahim. I've been avoiding it for so long. For some context, I'm not close to my relatives. They created a lot of problems. They're not really on their deen as much as they should be. Allah yahdihun. I'm not trying to judge them. And to be honest, bro, like I've always felt like a stranger around them. Okay, I'm just keep it real with you. I always felt like a stranger, distant, never really clicked with them, and it's just a weird vibe of being around them. I'm not gonna lie. And so I already knew that silat rahim, you can't cut them off. You can't cut them off. That's not the way of like a righteous Muslim, right? But then I was realizing the other day, or like just a couple weeks ago, that okay, like I'm not making progress when it comes to business. I'm not making like as much money as I would like. So then I read something that was a hadith where I was like, if you want to increase your money and your rizq, then you got to do silat rahim. So I was like, of course, I'm slacking in this area. I don't have the discipline to do it. So I'm like, now I'm struggling to discipline my nafs to do the thing that I don't want to do. So instead of buying into the emotion of not wanting to do it, and then justifying it with logic, like, oh, they're just going to be too embarrassed. Oh, they don't even want me to text me anyway. Oh, I haven't texted them in ages. I know they're going to look at my text and be like, what does he want? You know, like, I literally texted my uncle. I went, Assalamu alaikum, how are you? Simple message, brain dead message. So I just did it as fast as possible. I didn't buy into my emotion, turned my brain off, and just sent it. And then he's like, is everything okay? And I was like, and I'm also getting anxious to even reply because I don't want to have a full-on conversation. And I'm like, yeah, everything's okay, just want to check up on you. Done. Didn't even reply back, nothing. I did my part. I'm not from the people who are following the sunnah. Inshallah, my rizq is going to increase. I want to make this a daily routine to just like maybe once every 2 months to just check up on them, bare minimum, you know, so that way I'm not displeasing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And so just having the discipline to do that was tough already. So it's like when you do that in one area, okay, then it just naturally applies to other areas, bro. Like you level up in this area the more you say no to whatever your nafs is tempting you with. So if it tempts you with wanting to do something that you shouldn't be doing, you say no to that. And if it tempts you with not doing something you should be doing, you say no, I'm going to do it anyway. You see how that works? It's really cool. It's pretty interesting. And the best part about all this is you can't really fail. Like you're already messing up. So even if you're trying to put in the effort to change and discipline your nafs and everything, that's like gaining XP, bro. Like each no that you say to like your nafs is like gaining XP in that area, which is really cool, right? The other thing that I wanted, this is like the last part of how I personally like discipline the nafs. It's not like I do this, no, the shaykh told me, and like no, I'm just saying like from the things that I've learned from the Quran and the Sunnah, from Ibn al-Qayyim, Ibn Taymiyyah, like Imam al-Ghazali's book that I've read specifically on disciplining the nafs, greed and lust and all of it. It comes down to one habit. Bro, if I were to tell you, bro, like there's one habit you can do that's gonna have a 100x increase in every area of your life, physically, mentally, spiritually, financially, emotionally. We just talked about the nafs being super emotional and wanting instant gratification, right? And then justifying that with logic. So emotional, to be able to control your emotions, and then the mental aspect, to be able to like logically stay in control. So I'm telling you, that's like, there's one habit that has a direct increase and like positive effect on every area of your life, even if you don't see it and realize it. If I were to tell you what that is, you'd be like, oh yeah, what is it? I already want to do it. If I tell you, you have to promise to yourself, not even to me, promise to yourself and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and your nafs knows if you're joking, if you don't mean this promise, that you will apply it, no matter how hard it will feel. Because this is like the number one habit of the salihin, the righteous Muslim people, the most productive. This is the number one habit of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the Sahaba. They incorporated it because this is the most powerful way to discipline the nafs. That's fasting. And it's not fasting like Ramadan. I'm saying fasting specifically as a daily routine. That's the catch. You might be on like level 1 of fasting. You might already be doing Monday, Thursdays, cause sunnah, right? Or you might be doing like the three specific days in the middle of the month, the white days, right? Because it's sunnah. How about we level up your intention? Find your hot coals reason first why you want to discipline your nafs. Find your hot coals reason, level up your intention, so we can level up how much we fast. Why? If you make fasting a habit in your daily routine, disciplining the nafs and having a disciplined nafs will just become your lifestyle. Do you understand how powerful this is? Like if you have the discipline to brush your teeth daily, you're almost always gonna have a white smile. So what I'm saying is, if you're gonna make fasting a daily thing, then you're almost always going to have a disciplined nafs, because there's like a hadith also that mentions, and no shaytaan flows through you the same way your blood circulates. So like fasting is the number one way to decrease shaytaan's influence on you. So that way, when you're feeling like, because like if you've noticed in Ramadan, bro, oh my god, this is so good. Pay attention, bro, pay attention. In Ramadan, there's probably a specific sin that you do in private that is between you and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You don't want anybody to find out. You don't want to feel exposed. And so, okay, like Ramadan's coming up, you really want to focus, lock in. You know, you have so much hope that you're going to be able to quit this thing. Ramadan comes. 1 weekend, you're doing pretty good. 1 week and a half, you mess up. You do that sin that you've been avoiding. You're like, oh my god, Shaytaan is locked up. Just spit everywhere. I'm like, oh my god, Shaytaan is locked up in a cage. How the heck did I feel tempted to do the sin that I've been avoiding? Ramadan is my chance to actually lock in. How did I not have the discipline to stay away from this one thing? Right? That is because Shaytaan planted a mini seed before Ramadan, and he got you to be addicted to this habit. So now it's like ingrained into your nafs. So now what I'm saying is, when you fast, okay, you discipline your nafs and you reduce Shaytaan's influence. It's completely different than being in Ramadan, because outside Ramadan, let me actually rewind a little bit. The reason why I'm mentioning the Ramadan example is because in Ramadan, the desire to actually do the thing is this small, but you still might end up doing it because out of habit. Psychology plays into it. It's like ingrained into your nafs. What happens is outside of Ramadan, that feeling is amplified. The real, like how the feeling, the emotion to actually do the thing, the instant gratification, is actually a seed. It's literally this small. But Shaytaan makes it feel like this, and like this, and then like this. In reality, it's just an atom. It's literally this small. It's a seed size. So it's Shaytaan that amplifies everything. I made a video recently where it's like Shaytaan hyper advertises. He's such a master at marketing. If you're in business, he knows psychology. He knows the exact wording, the exact how to tailor his message to gaslight your nafs into wanting the thing. It's an emotional game. It's an emotional game. So fasting is like basically puts Shaytaan to the side, bro. Like yeah, just get out of here. Like he'll have like such a low level of influence on you to do the instant gratification stuff. So then that already by itself is okay. That's a huge weight off my shoulders. Now it's just me and my nafs. And the cool part is that once you do make fasting a lifestyle, okay, then you'll just get better at saying no to things. You'll naturally be more aware, more focused, more energized, more barakah in your time. All of it. There's so many aspects that I can get into. But it's like simply fasting from food. You can still drink water if you want. That's what I do. I've just made it a daily routine to fast from food because like specifically sugar and any like instant gratification stuff like dopamine maybe from like before I do any important work. So like I try to break my fast towards the end of the day. So that way the whole entire day I'm just focused and being productive and trying my best to resist my nafs and everything. It's like it just makes it so much easier. It's not even like you're trying to discipline your nafs anymore. It just makes the process so much easier. So I feel like these are like the main things that I've done from the beginning. And then to level up how disciplined your nafs is, you level up what standard you have for yourself that you're trying to sacrifice, depending on what area of life you're trying to build in. So it's like this just comes down to the hot cold reason. You just level up your hot cold reason to be able to grab your nafs, put it in like a chokehold, and to get serious about disciplining your nafs about this one thing that you're really trying to stay away from, or this one thing that you're trying to do but you don't really want to. So it's really interesting. It's really interesting. That's just like my perspective on things and how I've reached this understanding of disciplining the nafs, and it all spills like just focus on one area first, and then it will apply to a bunch of other areas bi-idhnillah. And actually let me know what would stop you from implementing it, because that's what we want to tackle. Because your brain has a tendency to justify things, right? Buy into your emotion and justify it with logic. So your emotion will tell you, fasting, your brain's gonna come up with a million things. So catch yourself justifying that logically, because that could be Shaytaan as well. Shaytaan does not want you to have a disciplined nafs. He wants to discipline your nafs, so that way he can control you. So just be aware of that, bro. We don't want that to happen, bro. Can't let that happen to my brother. Come on, man. So apply this. This is what's helped me. And genuinely, disciplining the nafs became so much easier just from what I've told you. So tawakkul ala Allah, bro. Don't buy into your emotions and justify with logic. Assalamu alaikum.